Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Farad's Desi Kitchen. Today I'm going to make a very popular dish of Pakistan. It's called Karaila Gosht. Karaila is a type of vegetable. It's called bitter gourd in English, I believe. And gosht is any type of meat, whether it be a lamb, goat, or chicken or beef. So you can pick the meat of your choice and make it in that meat. So let's start. I have my pressure cooker preheated. Here I have about 2 pounds or half kilogram of goat meat. You can use lamb or beef, whatever your preference is, but usually Karaila and Gosht is made with mutton, which is goat and lamb meat. So this is gonna go in here. I have 1 cup of water. I'll put that in there. We have to cook the meat until it's tender and soft. 1 teaspoon of salt. I have half chopped onion. I'll put that in there. Alright, so we have to cook this meat until it's tender and just put enough water so there is no gravy left, because in Karaila Gosht it's just a dry vegetable there is no gravy in it. Otherwise the Karaila is very bitter vegetable, so it's gonna be bitter if you have water in it. So I'm gonna cover this and put the weight on and cook it for 20 minutes after the whistle blows. Right? The weight goes on and I have to wait until 20 minutes after the whistle blows. So let's meet. Here I have about 4 pounds of Karaila or bitter gourd, whatever you want to call it. Bitter gourd is the only English name that I know of it. I'm sure there's some other name as well that I'm not familiar with. You can get this from any Indian Pakistani grocery store. It's a fresh vegetable. It has a very bitter taste, but there is a way to make it not so bitter, and I'll show you how. So let's start. I'm going to peel this, cut it into small pieces, and then I'll show you what to do next. Okay, here's my Karaila all peeled and seeded. I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of salt. Mix it out. And leave it in the sun for 20 minutes. It will release all the bitter water from these Karailas, and then I'll show you what to do next. Alright, I'm putting it out in the sun for 20 minutes. This is what the meat looks like after we boiled it. It looks pretty soft and tender. Now I'm going to start the process of cooking the actual Karaila salan. Meat out, so I can use that same pan to make the actual gravy and stuff, and to put all the spices in. Cover this with the lid. Here I have half chopped onion. I'm going to add about 1 cooking spoon of oil in it and fry the onions until they're golden brown. I just took my Karailas out of the sun, and I'm going to massage them a little bit so all the bitter water kind of gets separated. It's going to release all the water. As you can see if all the bitter water is coming out. I have been massaging them for a minute, and as you can see, there's lots of water that was released from these Karailas. Now I'm going to squeeze them really hard so more water comes out, and I'll meet you after all the Karailas have been squeezed. All my Karailas are squeezed, and this is how much I have left. As you can see how much water it released. Now I'm going to drain this water, wash the Karailas again, and squeeze them 1 more time so all the salt comes out of the Karailas, and then we'll fry them. This is what my onions look like. They are a little brownish. They're like soft. Now I'm going to add about 1 tomato and 1 jalapeno peppers chopped into it. Alright, here I have some spices. I have half teaspoon red chili powder, 1 teaspoon coriander powder, half teaspoon turmeric powder, and half teaspoon garam masala powder. They all go in here. I didn't put any salt in it because if you remember, we did add 1 teaspoon of salt in our meat. And also we put lots of salt on our Kareilas, so they do retain some salt even after we wash it. So once I'm done cooking, I'll just taste to see if it needs a little bit more salt and we can add more. But most of the time that salt is just enough. Now I'll add a little bit of water so all the spices are cooked and the tomatoes and onions are all soft. Now let's move back to our Kareilas. I washed the Kareilas with fresh clean water. Now I'm going to squeeze this again one more time so there's no water left in the Karaila period, and then we'll have to fry them. Okay, so all the Karailas are washed and squeezed again. I know it's a lot of work, but trust me, it's worth the effort. I have a preheated pan here. I'm going to add about half cup of olive oil. You can cook it in purified butter, ghee, or any other oil you like. There's 2 spoons of this makes about half cup of oil. And I will add my Karailas in it, and we'll wait till they're golden brown color. So we have to fry them until they're golden brown. It might take about 10 minutes or so to fry them completely because if they're not fried properly, then it's going to have a very bitter taste, and lots of people don't like it. Some people actually like it to be a little bit bitter. The Karaila is the most liked vegetable in Indian subcontinent, for example, Pakistan, India, and maybe in Bangladesh too, I'm not sure. But it's a very popular dish that's cooked in every house over the summer with mutton or beef, etc. So let's meet once the Karailas are fried. Alright, the cooking process for the meat looks like this. All the onions are soft, the tomatoes are cooked, and all the spices are cooked well. Now I'm going to add this meat into this spiced curry. We have to cook it well so all the spices get absorbed into the meat. Onions, I have been frying bitter gourd or Karaila for about 5 minutes now. It might take another 5 minutes to fry them completely. You can see they're turning about golden brown. Some of them are still a little greenish. So we have to make sure that all of them turn golden brown until they're ready to go with the further process. This is what the meat looks like. I'm going to add some of the water that was in, or the broth which came from the meat when we boiled it. We just don't want to waste that, so I'm going to add about a little bit of it at a time, so the meat becomes a little more tender and it cooks in the spices and add more flavors to it. Okay, this is what my Karailas look like. They're all almost brown. So now I have 2 medium onions chopped. I'm going to add these into my Karailas. For about 2 minutes, and then we'll add some spices to it. Here I have some spices. I have half teaspoon salt, quarter teaspoon turmeric, quarter teaspoon red chili powder, and half teaspoon coriander powder. I'll add them all in here. And mix it. I have 3 tomatoes chopped and 2 jalapeno peppers chopped. They all go in here. We mix them well until all the tomatoes and vegetables are tender. The onions are soft. The Karailas, when you fry them, they become a little bit hard, so they have to soften up a little. I'm going to cover this for about 2 minutes so everything cooks and becomes soft. This is what the meat looks like. All the water is gone and oil is separated. There's no gravy in it, and that's exactly how you want your meat to be. You don't want any gravy in it because Karaila Gosht is not supposed to be watery. It's a very dry salan. This is what my Karaila looks like with the onions and everything. It looks like everything is soft. The onions are cooked well. The Karailas look soft. Now I have to check and see how my meat looks like so we can add the Karaila into the meat, and then our dish will look the way it should look. My vegetables look done and the meat looks done. Now we have to mix them together, so I'll take the vegetables and mix them into the meat. All the vegetables are mixed into the meat. Now I have to mix it well, and then we'll dish out and I'll show you the final results. All right, it's all done, ready to dish out. And I'm going to dish out my delicious salan. This is what it looks like. I am going to garnish it with a little bit of cilantro. And it's ready to serve. Please let me know how you like the recipe. Please subscribe to my channel. Share the video with your friends. Give my videos thumbs up so it helps with the YouTube algorithm. You have to make mint chutney with this dish because it makes you very, very thirsty. So mint chutney kind of cools off the stomach and you don't feel as thirsty. So let me know if you want to get the recipe of the mint chutney in the comment below, and I'll show you the recipe how to make it. You can eat this with naan, roti, bread, however you like. Please subscribe to my channel and stay blessed.